creating something because it's gonna waste tokens, and now tokens is the new currency. So that is why I suggest you to make sure you have your planning done before you start creating the product, because believe me, it's gonna be a way better product at the end of the process. Okay, so planning before, generate the prompt, testing, iterate, refine. That's my framework whenever I'm using AI to help me to do something.
Welcome to Pixelados, the podcast where design, personal growth, and business come all together without the complicated stuff. I'm your host, Ronald Rosales.
Hello, welcome back to Pixelados. This is a new podcast. In this case, I'm going to be showcasing an extension that I recently created to help me doing some personal stuff, and I will explain in a little bit what this was about. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story or what led me to create this extension. So at work, I was constantly seeing us when we needed to try some feature, we needed to do some QA or design review of something. We had to create a new account every time we needed to test some flow on the platform. And you may think, okay, creating a new account is not too much, you know, but we were working on something related to non-profit organization, and we had to fill, I will say, like 10 or 15 fields, and it was very tiring because you need to come up with names. It's some developers or some QA that are experiencing this more often. They had like their own workflows to do this, like making up names, but these consume time, and I was seeing this more often, and I thought, you know what, why we don't build a tool that help us to, by clicking one button, fill all the fields on the form. So I did. I used Codex at the office, and I built a tool for internal use only that helped me to fill every single field of the form in seconds, less than a second. When you click that, boom, it creates a fake name, it creates fake email with the parameters that we're using there, because we don't allow creating accounts with disposable emails, but we do a workaround for internal use. So everything was included in this tool, and it was working perfectly because it helped me speed up the time of working on something, because the task wasn't related to fill the form, the task was related to something beyond the form. So I wanted to have something quick or something faster to fill these forms so I can do the review of what the task was about. And then this led me to my personal side, because I'm applying to jobs. So I found that most of the job applications have the same sort of structure. They have like you need to fill every single time the same information in every single job post board. Because I had the experience at work, I said that let's do an extension to do this, because this is getting ridiculous. I need to fill all the information all the time, and there is no point of me doing the same again and again and again. I'm gonna walk you through what was my planning, because like you probably already know, you don't go, or you shouldn't go to any AI tool telling them, okay, I want this. So because it's gonna create whatever you do, whatever the tool wants to create, and that may or may not be the best approach for what you need. And so at the end, you're gonna waste tokens, you're gonna waste time, because that's not what you want. So my suggestion is always start by thinking what are the features that you want on the specific tool that you want to create. And because I had that very clear, my pain point was very clear. I wanted something that helped me fill these application forms quicker and just so I just need to focus on doing the resume, creating the cover letter, and all that. But the information that was repetitive, I wanted to feel very fast, so I don't needed to waste time on that. The problem was very clear. I wanted something that allowed me to fill the information, allowed me to fill my name, my email, my LinkedIn portfolio, my address, my zip code, everything that is not changing over the time because I'm doing this many times at the moment. Okay, let me show you all the fields that I needed to fill all the time, like first name, last name, email, country, phone, resume, cover letter, of course. All these questions are the questions that I wanted to be focusing on. I didn't want to be focusing on these all over and over and over. That is why I wanted to create a tool that helped me quickly add these fields to the form. I have my requirements very clear, so I start talking with Claude and we come up with all the requirements. I needed the most requirement that I wanted to have the tool where it needed to have the ability to have two emails, because I'm using two emails for one email for a set of application, another email for another set of applications. I wanted to be able to add new fields. I wanted to be able to copy a field if I want to, because in some application forms are not allowing me to use the tool because they have some sort of JavaScript blocker. So I found that, and then you know what, I'm just gonna add a copy button on the field. Quickly wanted to copy and paste this on my form, and I wanted to be able to export my data, because the idea of building this tool is that everything lives locally, so I didn't want to worry about anything related to uploading this information somewhere that I don't know. That was the idea, that was the main goal, having an extension that allowed me to fill my information automatically and not being worried about security measures. And yeah, it needed to be compliant with contrast and WCAG, and yeah, everything that I had that clear idea in my mind. I start talking with Claude, and we come up with the prompt that allowed me to create my own extension, and I will walk you through this. I created a form in my website here just to test this out, and I will show you how this works. So this is the extension, and as you can see, I have the ability to make it dark mode or light mode. It has autosave because in the first version I was doing changes here, adding my information, and the button was down here, and 3 times I forgot to click the button save. So now if I put my number 123, it's automatically saved. I can copy, I can add my address here, and as you can see here, I have a copy button icon on every field, so I can just copy and paste it here if I want to. Then as you can see, you can access, you have like 2 emails, and well, because I didn't fill all the information at the moment, it's saying it has a progress bar here that's saying that all the default fields need to be completed, which is really nice. And if you want, you can create new fields. For instance, let's say that I'm creating a new field for Instagram. You have a new field, custom field, and now this field will be here at the bottom. Okay, so let me add a secondary email. So we have email 2, right? It's all filled, and now all I needed to do is, let's say this is my application. I'll go here and I open this and I click this big button, and all the information is immediately added to the form, which is pretty neat. And well, this is like, it wasn't nice to have to make it dark and light mode because I'm sometimes applying it at night, so it's nicer. And let's see if this really works on this application. Let's go and try to fill. Voila! I just need to take care of some drop down because in some cases it's not doing that. This was a simple form, honestly. Well, simple in between quotes because they are asking a bunch of information, but in some cases other forms are a little bit more long, and that is why I wanted to have the ability to make custom fields. When I see patterns of some information that is being repeated, I wanted to be able to add this information to the form, so I in the future could fill this information. Some things that I found that could be better on this tool. I mean, in some websites or some applications, the form is not portfolio URL, it's website URL, or it had a different label on the field. And in this case, the extension wasn't recognizing this. So I want to make another version of this that allows me to add different labels to the field, so it recognizes when where it says website, when it says portfolio, when it says personal link, or another label. Allow me to fill my website URL in there, so I can rely on the tool for that too. Of course, like I said, every form is different, but it saves a lot of time, believe me, because when you're doing this over and over and over, it's gonna save you a lot of time. So takeaways on this is always plan before start building anything on AI, because the more details you give or the more details you provide to the tool, the better the outcome it's gonna be. Make sure you have like a clear picture of what is your pain point. Let's say that you only have a brief idea of what you need to do. I suggest you to start talking with the tool and say, okay, let's go on planning. I want to build a product, solve this problem, help me go through all the features that this product should have before getting on the coding and creating something, because it's gonna waste tokens, and now tokens is the new currency. So that is why I suggest you to make sure you have your planning done before you start creating the product, because believe me, it's gonna be a way better product at the end of the process. Okay, so planning before, generate the prompt, testing, iterate, refine. That's my framework whenever I'm creating tools or apps or using AI to help me to do something. Okay, so yeah, that was everything for this episode. I hope you like it, I hope you enjoyed it, and comment if you feel this extension is helpful. And if you want the extension, drop me a comment. I gladly will share it with you, so it can help you doing whatever repetitive task involving your information you needed to do. Okay, stay connected and see you next time.